Hello, everyone. We'll give them a couple minutes here for everybody to join the webinar. We're very excited to have you here today. Okay, let's begin, shall we? My name is Molly McDuff, and I am the marketing coordinator here at Harvard Business School Online. And I'm so very pleased today to be hosting this webinar in which we'll be talking about the HBS Online community and how it can help you expand your network and achieve your professional goals. So the HBS Online community is a global network that enables you to connect with your peers, ask questions, and share experiences about your expertise. Today, the community has 39 geographical chapters and topic-based chapters worldwide. Each chapter is led by our community organizers who have taken at least one HBS online course. They utilize the community platform to collaborate with their chapter members and coordinate virtual and in-person events to help their peers expand their networks and find new opportunities to advance their careers. So I'm here today with three of our community organizers to discuss how they've personally grown their networks and achieved their goals using the HBS Online community. I'm so glad you all could be here with me today. So why don't we begin by having each of you give a brief introduction as to what you do professionally, what chapter you organize, and what HBS Online course or program you've taken. Patrick, why don't you begin?
Hi, Molly. Thank you so much for a brief introduction of this webinar. We said thank you. So my name is Patrick Sabineza. I am an entrepreneur based out of New York City. I am an entrepreneur in the coffee sector currently, and I'm also involved in different initiatives around the city. I am the community organizer in New York City, and I've taken Entrepreneurship Essentials from HBS Online.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Patrick. We're so glad to have you here today. Sasha, why don't you go next?
Hey, Molly. Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me on. So my name is Sasha. I'm the community organizer for London. I've got a telecommunications consultancy business, and I've got a renewable energies business. Of the courses I've taken Core, which was the first course I took way back in 2017, Negotiation Mastery, and I took a live online class called Strategy Execution.
Perfect. Thank you, Sasha. And lastly, Lydia, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia. I'm a corporate lawyer in the IPO or initial public offering space. So I help companies list on the Australian Stock Exchange. And I studied leading with finance with Harvard Business School Online.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lydia. So now I would love to know a little bit about each of your individual HBS Online course experiences and what you've gained from those experiences. So Patrick, beginning with you, how would you describe the Entrepreneurship Essentials course that you took?
I'm muted. I'm sorry. Yeah, so the Entrepreneurship Essentials it's a very interesting course from HBS Online, and pretty much I learned a lot of things from that course. You know, it talks about a lot of elements of entrepreneurship, ranging from identifying a business opportunity, and being able to raise funds, trying to help you know exactly where to locate, how to locate and be able to secure funds for your business. If you're a startup or mid-range company, it also helps you have an idea of how to build teams, managing risks, and scaling up your business after maybe being in the industry for a couple of years, or even those who are still starting as startups like myself. It helps you have that broad picture or broad understanding of where to find help. So it pretty much gives you essential building blocks necessary to create high potential ventures, both in the present moment as well as looking out into the future, what you can do and be able to help others as well. It also provides frameworks and tools, to scale up really successfully. And, this is a great place to go if you're trying to start your own company, or if you're already in the industry doing great work. So for me, the experience from Entrepreneurship Essentials has been a huge building block of my entrepreneurial journey, and I couldn't be here where I am today if it was not for that course, because it opened so many doors for me as an entrepreneur, and I think that for so many people who need help, where to start, how to evaluate market fit for your startup, I think this is a great place to go and take this course. Right now, I recently learned that the course is not. You don't need an application to apply for that course anymore. So I really recommend this for entrepreneurs, those who are getting started, and those who have been in the industry for a couple of years. Even those who are already successful, it is always very important that you refresh your understanding of the journey of an entrepreneur, and in doing that from a top-notch university like Harvard Business School Online, and in doing it from anywhere you can, or you can, on planet Earth. I think this is a great thing to do. So for me, overall, the experience was positive, and I'm happy I made this investment.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And we're obviously so happy that this course has impacted your life in such a wonderful way that we have you here today. Next, Sasha, you've taken several HBS Online courses, as you've mentioned. So what do you think it is about the course experience that keeps you coming back for more?
Sure. So, I mean, of all the online platforms that I looked at, and that involves online classrooms like Zoom, it's the HBS Online platform that's the most immersive. So it's really designed to keep you engaged, and the range of mediums presented in a section, be that in text, video, questions, graphics, it really stops information fatigue. In addition, the information knowledge that's passed on is very clearly curated, and it's genuinely useful information. So put simply, that there's no waffle, there's just really enough information to really get a grapple on the topic. So I've just found it absolutely invaluable, and one of the better learning platforms that I've certainly used.
Terrific. Yeah, that's a terrific summary. Thank you. And then Lydia, you have how have you used the lessons and course content from the Leading with Finance course to help you advance your career?
I really enjoyed the Leading with Finance course, and I was looking to undertake a study in that area because I was actually transitioning from a government regulatory role into private practice to work for a law firm. I found Leading with Finance to be invaluable because it actually gave me a lot of insight into the decision-making that goes on in companies, particularly when they're undertaking certain transactions, such as share buybacks, and the effect that it has and the signaling that it would have on the market broadly. So I found it to be very beneficial, not just for gaining knowledge, but also advancing my career. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you all for sharing about your course experience. And now I'd love to move in to what we've all been waiting for here, some specifics around the HBS Online community. So this year we had the opportunity to conduct a survey with the help of City Square Associates to discover how prospective, current students, past participants view the value of the community as a whole. So just for a couple examples, a few of the respondents from that survey described the community as a diverse set of professionals around the world, eager to learn and share, strong and like-minded individuals coming together to better themselves in order to pursue their goals, and a tool that provides a plethora of resources at your fingertips. So with all these lovely comments in mind, I would love to know how each of you all would describe the HBS Online community, but in one word. So Lydia, why don't we begin with you?
Awesome. It's awesome.
Terrific. Sasha
My word is connected.
and Patrick?
My word is transformative.
Great, great. You all are terrific marketers. So in that same survey, networking and job connections ranked really high among valuable aspects of the community. So Sasha, how do you help facilitate networking opportunities at some of your chapter events in London?
Sure. So I mean, the fantastic thing about our chapter events, and I'm sure Lydia and Patrick share the same experiences, is the diverse range of professionals that attend. So at our most recent event, just a couple of weeks ago, as it happens, we had a football coach for one of the big Premier League teams here in England. We had a freelance CFO who hops between startups and existing fintech companies. We had somebody who leads the software development team at the UK's National Health Service. And we even had an interior designer, believe it or not. So it really is quite a diverse crowd. So by quickly introducing everybody and introducing myself and getting to know everybody as quickly as possible, you can sort of almost play matchmaker between people. So you can find people in sort of similar industries. You can find people with similar interests and just introduce people that otherwise wouldn't have met. In addition, I think it's really important to encourage everyone to shout about what they do, and so to speak, so that you never know where the next opportunity is going to come from. And as it happens, somebody reached out to find out who the interior designer was at our last event. So it really can be a little bit of a matchmaking exercise.
That's great. We love to see those connections continuing to happen after the events. So Lydia, as the Melbourne chapter organizer, how have you made networking connections through the community, and how has this volunteer role helped you expand your network?
I've actually really enjoyed being a chapter organizer. I find it really rewarding. Having been involved in the Melbourne chapter since February 2020, I've actually seen the community grow and evolve. So initially, a couple of first meetups were to come together and share different experiences and share what we experienced in the course. And that's evolved into partaking in the community challenge. And we're very proud to have won the community challenge together with the Sydney chapter in 2023 for Batwana World Education. So we've built networks quite organically through the community challenge and participating in that, but also to Sasha's point about playing matchmaker, I find that to be extremely rewarding, to be able to meet new people, connect them with other people in the community that also have shared interests, whether it's sustainability or artificial intelligence, or even meeting career mentors. I personally met some really great career mentors through volunteering as a chapter organizer. So for me, it's really wonderful to see how the community has changed and grown and evolved, and I really can't wait to see where it's going to go to next.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And thank you for sharing so much about your wonderful experience working with the community challenge. I'll be happy to ask you more about that in a little bit. And then among those unfamiliar with the community who responded into this survey, 94% of those respondents are interested in participating. So Patrick, what advice would you give to people who want to join the HBS Online community, and how can they get started and make the most out of their experience?
That's a good question. How would what would I say, tell somebody who just wants, okay, so for me, I think being open-minded and knowing that, you are joining a top-notch, high quality networking group of people in New York City. Well, for my community, we have had so many different networking events over the last 3 years, and most of them they focus on making sure that you meet at least 5 people that you have never met before from the community. So for me, as starting out, we were less than 1,000 people, but now we're I think more than 3,000 people. Actually close to 7,000 people, including those that have joined the community from other countries. So being open-minded and knowing that you are going to meet great people who are there to be able to help you build long-term relationships that are not only going to help you, but also going to help other people as well in the business world in New York City. So I think just be open-minded and get ready to meet people, great people in New York City.
I think that's great advice.
And
oh, go ahead.
yes, in terms of where to start, just create an account. We have an online platform. It's very easy. Just you need an email and a password, and then once you start, you're going to be able to see all the events, the upcoming events in our community. Currently we have been focusing on in-person events because coming out of COVID-19, I realized that we need more in-person events than online events so that people can get to meet each other in person and try to use those connections to really move to the next level in each other's or one another's career. And yeah, pretty much create an account, and I'll see you on at our next event.
Thank you, Patrick. I could not have said it better myself. I encourage anybody watching to check out all of the events on the community platform, specifically Sasha, Lydia, and Patrick's upcoming events as well. So as our organizers will soon tell you, one of the exciting opportunities that our past participants have is attending our annual learner conference called Connext. Connext is an occasion for past participants to spend a day networking with their peers and participating in scheduled programming, from live faculty case discussions to interactive lectures on the HBS campus or virtually. So this year, I had the great pleasure of seeing all three of you in person at Connext. So I would love to know what was one or two of this year's highlights for each of you at the conference. Sasha, why don't you begin?
So, well, being a regular attendee of Connext, I don't think I've missed one yet. At the top of the list is certainly catching up with old friends that I've met through this community, and making new ones as well. But on top of that, it's the insight that comes from the whole experience, right from the lessons with professors to the topical talks, the fireside chats on stage. It's incredibly inspiring. And before I've landed back in the UK, I'm already planning how I can put that knowledge to work. Honestly, I'm so thankful to Laura and Molly and the rest of the team for organising this each year. And it was hugely missed a few years back. So thank you guys for arranging it. And I'd recommend it to anybody that can make it.
Well, thank you for your regular attendance, and thank you as well for scheduling those community related events outside of Connext as well. So Lydia, why don't you go next?
For me, the whole Connext conference was the highlight. I really enjoyed being on campus and being able to meet people in person, meeting the professors, meeting all the other chapter organizers. If I really had to pick one moment, it was probably sitting in Professor Michael Wheeler's case study class and negotiating with the AI bot. That was pretty epic for me.
Yeah, that was a very special opportunity that he presented during his case discussion, and it was very widely talked about as one of the favorite sessions throughout the day. Last, Patrick, why don't you go ahead?
Well, certainly there were so many things that I enjoyed at Connext this year. But the event that the part of the event that stood out for me was the live recording of the podcast, that was interesting for me because currently I'm interested in AI and the transformative power of AI. So in New York City, I have one of my recurring events, monthly events, is AI in the future of work, and that was inspired by the same part of the conference that that I was able to be part of on it connects. So thank you so much for organizing that. That was really great. Yeah, I look forward to next year's event.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a really special and particular addition that we had to this year's programming. Okay, so another wonderful opportunity outside of Connext that the HBS Online community provides is known as the Community Challenge, which Lydia teased a little bit before. So the challenge is our annual collaboration with a nonprofit organization in which learners meet worldwide to develop solutions to that organization's most pressing business problem. So for the 2024 challenge, we had the opportunity to partner with Oxfam's Global Innovation Lab for Equality, also known as Agile, which strives to find solutions to systemic inequality and global poverty. Chapters were tasked with developing an actionable growth plan for Agile by identifying potential partnerships and marketing plans with key narratives to really reflect Agile's mission. This year, all 3 of your chapters submitted proposals for the community challenge. So I would love to know what that experience was like in both hosting events related to the challenge and what the process was like in creating a presentation. So Patrick, why don't you begin with this one?
So for the challenge, it was an interesting experience for me and my community in New York City. From the time selecting the community members who were able to participate in the community challenge, that was a great experience because I opened the door to anyone who really wanted to jump on the opportunity and be able to submit. So for me, bringing the team together was the most interesting part of the experience. This was the first time the New York City participated in the challenge. So we look forward to improving on what we did and be able to make more contributions in the future. And again, it was a great experience, and I thank everyone who participated from our community, and look forward to participating again in the future.
Great, thank you so much, and we're so appreciative that you submitted a proposal this year. So Sasha, why don't you share a little bit about your proposal?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, due to the constraints of location and trying to get everybody into one place, we turned to Zoom for meetings for our community challenge events, and that worked really well. It was an opportunity for us to really embrace technology and try and use collaborative tools for everybody to work together. The community challenge gave everybody an opportunity to really show their skill sets and to shine and bring in knowledge from their careers as well, and obviously try and network through their careers. So on our part, the first meeting was really a discovery of what everybody's skills were, and then we delegated tasks out. And we followed that up each week with to see what progress everybody was making. And it was really, really great to collaborate like this. So the closeness that the team formed was fantastic, and we feel our presentation was really good, even if we didn't make it to the finals. But Oxfam, again, British form charity, so it felt a bit close to our heart. So we really thought we should get involved. We're excited and we're proud of our proposal, and we're excited to get involved again in next year's.
Terrific, thank you, and thank you for sharing about your process as well. I think a lot of teams can resonate with doing a lot of that team building and work through Zoom as we navigate being in different places. Finally, Lydia, why don't you share a little bit about the Team Australia's proposal?
I think in Team Australia, we had so much interest in the community challenge after having won it in 2023. But also to Sasha's point and to Patrick's point, we worked collaboratively online a lot of the time. So we had a lot of Microsoft Teams meetings in order to coordinate everyone. And it was really a chance for everybody to also show their skill set, put their ideas forward. And I think this particular year, we had so many ideas. So I think our challenge was picking the right idea for the community challenge to present in our final presentation. But it was just really awesome to see the quality of the ideas coming through from our community and to see our community rally together for a good cause.
Absolutely. So Lydia, as you did mention, you were one of the organizers that helped develop the winning proposal for the 2023 Community Challenge, in which you worked with the Bantwana Initiative of World Education, an organization focused on improving the lives of those impacted by HIV, AIDS, and poverty. So in the past year, since your proposal was selected, how have you brought Team Australia together to help Bantwana?
So essentially, we've been collaborating online on Microsoft Teams to bring together ideas and catch everyone up. Lately, thanks to Junus Lim, who actually runs the Waste Proprietary Limited company that formed the heart of our waste conversion technology. Junus has negotiated with a food manufacturer, a well-known food manufacturer here in the state of Victoria in Melbourne. So we will be taking the waste from a particular factory plant in this city and being able to use their food scraps to test if we can achieve commercial quantities. So watch this space.
Wow, that's really terrific news. And of course, we love hearing some of the positive results that come out of these community challenge proposals, because as you all can attest, they take a lot of time and effort and really showcase your business skills and capabilities. So we're so appreciative for all of you for submitting proposals and for continuing to showcase what the community can do. So now we've gathered a couple of questions from the registration page that I would love to share with everybody watching today. So the first question I have here, I'm going to dedicate to you, Patrick. So this question is from Vinicius, who asks, what are the best and most interesting topics to discuss in a lecture or event in order to entertain everyone?
Well, for me, I think, currently speaking from New York City, then the hot topic is AI. And around that topic, I was able to create an event that's happening every month. And, the event is titled AI in the Future of Work. If you are in New York City, of course, you are welcome to stop by and stop by our website, the platform, and be able to come and see us. We're meeting in person. So AI is really a hot topic right now, and that is a topic that brings every industry around the table. So it pretty much reaches out to every industry, and I think there's nothing that unifies that unites people right now as AI does in terms of topics. Yeah, so I would go with AI.
Absolutely. I think that's a great summary, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what results from these monthly chapter events revolving around AI. So the next question I have here is going to be for you, Lydia. So Radhiva Hassan L asks, can you share a story of a meaningful connection or collaboration that resulted from your participation in the community?
Well, I have a lot of meaningful connections that I've made through the community, and I feel really grateful for the experiences that I've had. If I could share one highlight, I actually traveled to Japan for the first time last year, and I didn't know anyone in Tokyo, and I just messaged Emi Shitara, who is the Tokyo chapter organizer, to see if she wanted to get coffee. And it was really epic to meet Emi in person. Emi has been supporting the Melbourne chapter by logging into our virtual meetings during COVID in the pandemic. So to actually meet her in person for the first time was pretty special, especially since the Tokyo chapter won the community challenge in 2021. So being able to share that experience with Emi and other chapter organizers has been so wonderful. And I'd also like to thank the chapter organizers on the call today. Like, I'm really inspired by Patrick's unique events that are held in New York City. And I'm also super inspired by Sasha, who's been involved in the community for many years. So I really do get a lot of meaningful connections through the community. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And special shout out to Emi. Okay, and the last question I have here from the registration page is for you, Sasha. So Kashya Patel asks, how do you make time for community and develop leadership skills while working and studying?
Copious amounts of coffee. But on making time for the community, I'd say that it's easy to make time for to speak to people that you have shared goals and interests with. Talking about your experiences really cements what you've learned. And keeps you motivated. And as I said earlier, you can develop really, really great friendships from this community. So it doesn't feel like a task. Echoing what Lydia said, I was just in Tokyo a couple of weeks ago, and I too, gave Emi a shout and asked to meet for coffee as the only person that I know in Tokyo. So Emi's a very popular person. I know she's going to be watching it. And like Lydia and Patrick said, Lydia said about Patrick and I, the other chapter organisers are really great, and it's great to speak to everybody, but also the members. I mean, I've been going to Connects for years, and made friendships stretching back 7 years now that we still stay in touch and talk about families, talk about work, talk about HBS Online and education. In regards to the developing leadership skills, I mean, I started working in retail when I was 17 years old. By 19 years old, I was a store manager. And I feel that the way I got there was to really do everything I could to understand the industry and understand the processes within the business, and to become a source of knowledge that others could turn to. And I feel that, like, at any point during your careers or learnings, you can develop leadership skills by being useful and reliable to those around you. I've told people who have attended our events, hopefully a couple are watching, but one thing I said in particular is volunteer for things that people ordinarily wouldn't. And that tends to get you into a position where people turn to you more and they start to look to you more for guidance and for leadership. And I find that both giving and taking feedback and advice and becoming, as I said, being fair and compassionate, you'll naturally develop into a leader. But above all else, never underestimate the importance of getting stuck in and doing. So it's the best way to reinforce what you've learned and to build with respect for those that you do try and lead. Making time is very hard, but managing a schedule tightly, I find, is probably the best.
Terrific. Thank you so much for sharing that wonderful advice there. And thank you to all of you for answering those questions. So now I'm going to turn it over to the Q&A here. Anybody has any questions for Sasha, Lydia, or Patrick, we'll be happy to answer them, or any questions about what we've chatted about today and in regards to the community, Connects, or the community challenge, or any chapter events. Happy to take any of those questions now. So let's take a look here. So I see a question in the chat here from Vinicius. Curious if it's the same Vinicius, but hello, good afternoon. I'm from Brazil, and I would like to know if I can participate in other communities or only from Sao Paulo. So you're welcome to participate in any community. I mean, as these chapter organizers will be able to tell you, though they are geographical chapters and often host in-person events. Every now and again, they host virtual events too. So you're welcome to partake in any chapter that you would like to.
And on that note, Molly, we've actually got a virtual event coming up on the 10th of October that everybody's welcome to. So check on the HBS Online community page and look for London Calling.
Terrific. Okay.
Yes, I would like to add to that as well. We have an event coming up this month, the last weekend of August. It's going to be about AI and the future of work. You can join online or you can join in person. The choice is up to you.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. We have another participant here who asks the question, how do you differ purely business networking with forming social relationships? Is it sometimes hard whether someone is sincere? Would anybody like to take a stab at that question?
Sure, I'll take that one actually. So I've a bit of a funny story. I made a business relationship back in 2015, developing a relationship with a client of mine. And it turns out that the director of that company and I became very close friends, to the point that he was one of my best men at my wedding last year. So it's gone from, being a client to being friends, and now he actually works for me as well. So all three for sure, and we've gone to events and we've learned together. So I'd say, obviously you've got to keep those lines between you in a lot of cases, but for certain, don't be afraid to make friends with the people that you work with or the people that you learn with, because you never know what could come of it.
Lydia or Patrick, would you like to chime in as well before we move to the next question?
I feel for me personally, I like to get to know a lot of different people. It may not necessarily be like in one box for business or in one box for social. I think, as Sasha mentioned, like, you just never know when someone's going to come through as a business contact or provide other like career mentorship even. I think there's always some sort of level of social connection that happens. And I think that's often where the best business relationships start from as well. For me in particular, like going to Connect was amazing to be able to meet all different HBS Online learners from all over the world. And I actually consider a lot of them friends, but I've also introduced a lot of them to my professional network here in Australia and my clients. And also some of my clients have expressed interest in investing in companies overseas that are run and organized by people that I did meet at Connect. So I think I don't think you need to categorize people per se. I think just let it organically grow and see where it goes.
Great.
Absolutely. I think what Lydia just said is really important, both in business and personal life as well. Letting relationships grow organically is very important. That's why I said earlier that anyone who wants to join our community should be open-minded, and be able to let letting social and professional or business relations come in. And for example, there are so many people that I met through HBS Online community that I currently consider to be friends and business partners at the same time. So yes, being able to let the door open and have organic relationships build up from there, I think it's very important, and that will benefit you both professionally and personally.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you to each of you for sharing those personal insights. So we have another question from the chat from Claire asking if we all have any tips for hosting hybrid events.
Sorry, I'll jump in then. The last event we actually held, it was a bit unplanned that we were going to do hybrid, so we didn't know that the facility had video conferencing facilities. So as soon as we found that out, we put as many messages out there as we possibly could to say. I guess the key thing when hosting hybrid events is not to forget the people on screen are there. Because otherwise it sort of becomes a two-tiered event where you've got people in person talking to each other, people on the screen talking to each other, and nobody interacting. So just be mindful of the fact that there are people there that maybe can't get your attention in the same way as people in the same room, for example, and try and include them as much as possible by bringing them into the conversation. But for sure, I think there's a place for hybrid events in future, and it's something that we're going to work more towards in London.
Lydia or Patrick, do you have anything else you'd like to share about a hybrid form of event?
Well, for me, I think the most important thing is having a team. There's a lot of community members who want to volunteer and be able to help during before, during, and after the event. So letting yourself or being able to build a team that's going to help you out, that comes in handy during the event. So I would encourage that.
Absolutely. All right. So that's about all the time that we have today. I want to thank everyone so much for taking the time for this conversation, in which we discussed how the community can help assist you in growing your network and achieving your personal and professional goals. Sasha, Patrick, Lydia, it's been so wonderful to chat with you all today, and get to know more about how the community has impacted your lives. And we're so grateful for volunteers like you. So everyone joining us today, if you're interested in getting more involved with the HBS Online community, visit hbsonlinecommunity.org. And anyone is welcome to join our free events and networking opportunities hosted by chapters globally, as each of these three community organizers share today. So thank you again, everyone, for tuning in, and we hope you have a great day.
Thanks.